tell me a little bit about Overcoming the Imposter. Silence your inner critic and lead with confidence. How did we get here?
The book Overcoming the Imposter really comes from my journey as an entrepreneur and the interviews and discussions and speaking engagements that I've had with hundreds of other entrepreneurs and business owners, and really anybody who's innovating and pushing the boundaries and leading. And something that I've discovered is that many people who are driven and ambitious and who are doing great and incredible things occasionally struggle with this thing called imposter syndrome. And just in case your listeners are not familiar, if anybody hasn't heard of this thing, imposter syndrome is a psychological term that was coined in the 1970s. And it refers to the tendency of many people, it turns out, to overvalue the accomplishments of others and to undervalue or really even doubt the reality of their own success.
What is one attitude you'd like people to have?
I think the biggest attitude change is to look at failure differently. If you see failure as part of success rather than the opposite of success, if you realize that every failure is a learning opportunity and every learning is a stepping stone on the path of success, then you can embrace failure and lean into risky situations and take big swings. And do things where the outcome is uncertain, but you know you're going to learn something in the process. And so that strips away that fear of failure that so often holds us back.
And one key behavior to do.
Embracing vulnerability. It's leaning into being open and honest and finding a community of people that you can be open and honest with so that you can remove that fear of exposure and so that you can get true, honest feedback on yourself and your situation from people that have a different perspective from you. And you just simply can't do that if you're not willing to open up and take the risk of being vulnerable.
And the best technique to use.
One tip that I have helped people through is a process I call the learning map. And essentially, it's a really simple exercise, but it's to make a list of failures and mistakes that you've experienced in your career. Make another list of successes and things that you've done well. And then from those, build a list of all the things you've learned. And the key to this is that the learnings often come from failure and the successes often come from learning.
Thank you for watching this highlight video from the How to Succeed podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, or click subscribe right here on YouTube to get notices about future episodes. And remember, whatever you are, be a good one.